Hi, I'm John from Just Whiskey. If you like today's show, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Speaking of subscribers, thanks for all the new subscribers coming on board. We're close to getting to the 500 subscriber mark. So thanks to all for the support and the comments. Much appreciated. And consider becoming a Patreon with the link in the description below. And a shout out to John's Liquors in Falmouth, Massachusetts on Cape Cod for acquiring this bottle of Springbank 17 Madeira finish for me. No relation to me, and I paid for it. And the price was about $240. Okay. Yeah. I just received this book. I bought it from eBay. It's a used copy, but it's like brand new condition. I don't think it's ever been read. This is the fourth edition of 101 Whiskies You Must Try Before You Die. Written by Ian Buxton. This is the fourth edition. The first edition came out in 2010. The second edition, I think, was 2013. The third edition was 2016. And the fourth edition is 2019. I don't know if there'll be a fifth edition. It retails for $20, but on eBay, I bought this for like $7 or $8 with free shipping. And, you know, it's not the 101 best whiskeys in the world that he's ever tried. He just writes a page or two about each whiskey. And he has everything from bourbon to world whiskeys to Irish to Scotch, but it leans more towards Scotch. So, if you can pick it up on eBay for, $5, $6, $7, I recommend it. And he even has one on mellow corn. So it's certainly not the 101 best whiskeys. It's just 101 whiskeys that he thinks, are interesting or can acclimate your palate or you can learn something from. And, hey, what the hell? Enough about that. Real quick, because we're going to be talking about prices and stuff like that. We know there's a new Ardbeg committee release called Fermutation, which is a 13-year-old release from Ardbeg, and the United States retail price on that is between $200 and $215 if you can find it. And next year, my understanding is that Ardbeg's committee release will be called Hyper Nova, and I believe they're advertising it as their smokiest whiskey ever. Hyper Nova. And then also, I just want to talk quickly about Whiskey Base. There's a newer Glenmorangie 18 called Alter Moto. And there's only like 5 reviews on Whiskey Base for it. And these 5 reviews have been on there since at least December of 2021. And I have to call out Whiskey Base, and I think they haven't singled this one out yet, but they should, because if you go on Whiskey Base and you search for this release, which is retails for $150 and above. It's a 43% special release, limited release from Glenmorangie. It gives it if you look on Whiskey Base real quick, it gives it an 89 rating. But I read the 5 reviews on there, and 4 of them are, in the low 80s, and I think one might even be 78 or 79. And, it's so, whatever. But there's one Whiskey Base reviewer on there that gave the Glenmorangie 18 Azuma Makoto, I think that's what it's called. They gave it a 98. Are you kidding me? And it just said, the only thing they said about it was a solid whiskey. So somebody in Whiskey Base, and Whiskey Base is allowing this. This has been on there since December of last year. And all our tastes and palates differ. So, I give a grain of salt, but, I just think you really, if you're looking to buy or research a whiskey, be very leery about what the overall score of Whiskey Base says. You really want to read the individual reviews to see for yourself which ones you think are legitimate. But I just wanted to call that one out there. Buyer beware, buyer take care. And, I thought it was worth mentioning. All right. Okay. So, the reason why I talked about the Ardbeg fermentation, the price, $215, let's say, if you can find it. So the Springbank 17, $240. So for 4 more years from a Springbank, you're not paying that much more, to get a really nice whiskey. I personally haven't tried the fermentation yet, but that price seems pretty steep, and it's even higher in the secondary market. All right, you came here for the Springbank 17 review, but you notice we have the 15 special release, which I've reviewed, and we have Springbank 18, which I've previously reviewed. Real quick, the Springbank 15 is a rum cask matured, and that is from 2019. That one comes in at 51% ABV. And the Springbank 18 is from 2020. That is the core range expression at 46% ABV. I think it's mostly bourbon matured, possibly some sherry in there. There's nothing written on the bottle, but that's that. The Springbank 17 is a 2020 release, and it comes in at 47.8% ABV. And on the back, it says, the Springbank single malt Scotch whiskey has been matured for 14 years in a combination of rum and bourbon barrels, followed by 3 years in fresh Madeira hogsheads. And it was distilled in November of 2002, and it was bottled on October of 2020 with a total bottle release of 9,200. Okay. And what's interesting about the Springbank 17 Madeira is there's no mention on the label about non-chill filtered or natural coloring. The 15 in the same space right on top, they say, non-chill filtered, natural coloring, but it seems that the Springbank 17, they use that real estate to describe what's in the bottle, but there's no mention of non-chill filtering, not chill filtering or coloring. So normally we would assume that, they've done bad, but I'm just assuming that it's an oversight on their part, and that it is in fact like all their other products, non-chill filtered, no coloring added. And same thing for the Springbank 18. They use that same piece of real estate to talk about non-chill filtering, natural coloring, but for the 17, for some reason, they chose to eliminate that and give you more of a description of what's in the bottle. So there you go. As far as color goes, here's the 15, here's the 17. So the 17 is much darker than the 15. And then here's the 18 and here's the 17. So the 17 is the darkest of the three. And when I refer to the Springbank 15, this is a special release. Okay, they have the standard 15, which is not going to be part of this review. Okay, so this is the packaging for the 17. I'm going to get rid of that for now. Make a little bit of room here. All right. So I've previously reviewed the Springbank special release rum cache, and I've reviewed the standard core range Springbank 18. Check my previous reviews, my channel, to see those reviews. Okay, Springbank 17. These have had quite a while to open up. Springbank 17, 2020 release, 47.8% ABV, non-chill filtered, no coloring added, I am assuming. Has a very inviting nose, a hint of smoke, a hint of peat. We know that Springbank is double distilled and that all their offerings are lightly peated. This is very lightly peated, but there's a whiff of smoke. But the predominant nose is strawberry licorice, candied strawberry, candied fruits, strawberry licorice. On the palate, fruity gum, fruit stripe gum, more strawberries, berries. A bit dry, a bit puckering, so a slight astringency. Slight sweetness. Slight sweetness. It's a well-rounded mouthfeel, somewhat delicate, and the finish is medium. It is very smooth, and it does not drink like the 47.8. It's really nice. Okay. Now, a quick little water rinse. I'm not reviewing the 15 or 18. I'm just kind of comparing them all to the 17. Okay. The 15 on the nose, much more of a creamy mouthfeel. Candied fruit confection. Oh my God. I absolutely love that. Candied sweet fruits on the palate. Medium I don't want to say medium long, but medium plus finish on the 15 um, from 2019. Boy, that is really, really good. Mangoes and peaches on there as well on the 15. Okay, the 18. The nose, a little more subdued. You're getting the candied cigarettes, like a chalky plaster, sheetrock kind of smell. Candied cigarettes. Palate. A little bit of a bite on the palate. I'm not getting those candied fruits really on for today. Um, I would say the 18 is more of the traditional, more heavily bourbon influenced. Um, Again, candied cigarettes, maybe a little vanilla. But you can watch the review for it. All right. This 15 special release, I bought this, I don't know, a year ago or whatever, so a year or so ago. I paid $180 for this. And I loved it so much, I bought a backup bottle. The standard 15 at the time was going for like 140, 150, and it's still about in that range, 140, 150. You're going to be hard pressed to find the special release anymore. This really, it flew under the radar, if you ask me. Not a lot of people reviewed it. There was some mixed reviews about it. I think it's freaking fantastic. The 17, again, $240. So, 175 or 180. So you're spending $60 more for 2 more years for the 17. And then the 18, this goes for $250, $260. So, for another year, you spend another, $40, $30, $40 or whatever. But this Springbank 17, it was distilled in 2002 and bottled in October of 2020. So it's just 1 month shy of 18 years old. Would I buy, and again, money, I am involving the prices in the score that I'm going to give. Would I spend 250, 260, 270 for the 18 again? No. It's very good, and you can see my review about it. But I just, I put everything in perspective. I just have so much that I just can't justify. I'm really cutting down on the volume of bottles that I buy, like significantly. All right, so just for sake of the review, we're just gonna like put the 18 aside now. So now we're gonna compare it to. So I like the 15 and the 17 more than I like the 18. You can look at my review for the score I gave this. I did score it high. All right, Springbank 15 rum release against Springbank 17 Madeira. I'll tell you, I really enjoy both of these. I scored this special release Springbank 15 higher than the 18. Okay, so again, if you want to look at the exact score, please visit that review. Springbank 17, 91 to 92. On any given day, between a 90 and a 92. So we'll settle more like on a 91 for it. I'm glad I bought it. It is excellent. I don't think anybody would not like it, to be honest with you. But for $240, in all, once you start spending, in my opinion, more than $100 or so, and when you get into the $200 range, you're paying for the experience. I had to do it, and I'm not disappointed that I did. Would I buy this again? No. Only because of the price, and I have so many of the bottles. I mean, if someone said, hey John, I have Springbank 17 for $150, yes, I would buy another one. But for $240, probably not. But it's damn good. I can't find anything wrong with it whatsoever. But in my opinion, this Springbank 15 rum from 2019, 51% ABV. Oh my God, it's just a little bit better than the 17, and a lot less money. So there you have it. I hope you found this entertaining and insightful and enjoyable. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up. It's really important for the algorithms. It helps the channel. And please subscribe. Click the bell for the notification. And consider becoming a Patreon with the link in the description below. And remember, folks, it's just whiskey. Hats off to you all. And take care. And remember that my channel name is called Just Whiskey now. It used to be called John Andre, even though it was always Just Whiskey. If that's confusing, stay tuned to Just Whiskey.